Butterflies are sort of like the guardians of folk traditions, because the word butterfly in different languages is completely different.
I guess there's a certain fragility about butterflies, I always think.
Brisbane used to be full of butterflies way back until we got more smoke, more gases, more human intervention, and so they've sort of disappeared. I was fascinated by the whole idea of bringing back endangered butterflies. And why don't we try it here? Why don't we have a go at it? Why don't we join the team of people who are into bringing back endangered species, even looking after the species that we have that are going extinct right now. It went from a very chance meeting over lunch. I was asked to lunch by a good friend of mine, Jennifer Simpson. She had a friend of hers that she used to work with in CSIRO, and he was a man called Dr. Don Sands. And Don was given the job of bringing back an endangered species, the Richmond bird-winged butterfly. And it was very close to being totally extinct. And he started in Queensland to do this job. It was an enormous task. And he'd been at it about 7 or 8 years when I met him over lunch with Jennifer. I brought him over to Woodford and we wandered around the place. He says, perfect for this sort of stuff. I was here by myself with a bunch of volunteers who really wanted to get into the butterfly scene, and I didn't have the knowledge of all the aspects of butterflies in order to drive this thing myself, nor did I have the time. So I was looking around for somebody to come on side that would know about this thing. So I rang BOIC, the Brisbane Butterfly Club, and they put me on to a Helen Svensky and a Frank Jordan.
I would frequently pick up small creatures and often beetles, because I was a bit more interested in beetles. And I'd pick them up, and I was really interested in the sounds they made, so I would hold them to my ear. And on 3 occasions, apparently, I was taken up to the hospital to have the beetles that had crawled into my ears syringed out.
Yeah, I was interested in butterflies as a child. There were no computer games, there was hardly any TV, so the only thing you could do was go out and look at the wildlife.
I still do it from time to time. I'm just better at making sure that they don't escape. So, because some of them are very scratchy.
As a kid, there were lots of butterflies, but as I grew older, I discovered there weren't as many butterflies, and I found out that it was because there weren't many host plants. Each butterfly has its own food plant, and when that food plant disappears, then the butterfly disappears. We've planted a whole lot of different host plants for different butterflies, and if we're lucky, some of them are here for the festival. We're very fortunate. They're very pristine areas close to the site, and the butterflies from those areas come and visit the site. And now that we've got the plants here for them, we're getting more of them in. For instance, we're getting the 4-bar swordtail breeding on the zigzag vine, the Maclay swallowtail comes in, and it's really quite satisfying to know that there'll be even more of these butterflies coming in because we put the plants in.
To have this walkway from the welcome gate up there all the way back to the ticket office back here, it's about 400 metres of full-scale butterflies to walk through when you come to the festival.
Going on this butterfly walk is like the fruition of, we've been associated with the Woodford or Mullaney Woodford Folk Festival since Mullaney days, and we've even planted some of these trees, myself and my partner and 5 children. So we come each year, it's probably something like our 15th Woodford Festival. I've now done the bird walks, I've done the butterfly walks, like the final one, because those butterflies are those fleeting things that you only see tiny, and I had no idea that the caterpillars were so little.
One of the most important things about the butterfly walk is what we're trying to do is reconnect people with nature. In modern cities, people are disconnected from nature, and that creates feelings of emptiness. And it's really good about the festival. It takes people out of the city and puts them in a natural environment to listen to music. And that's very healthy and therapeutic. But people need to go more. They need to be really connected with nature.
Well, it was just nice to come on the butterfly walk and have a complete time out from, it was a different culture, I guess, you know, not music and not theatre and not comedy, but to get into the environment was great. That was really nice, and to change the focus entirely. Beautiful.
Especially, I've known that there's been thousands of plants planted on site, but I guess when you're just camping in the grounds, you don't really, you know, notice it too much because they're only about 10 years old. But here you really notice it. You see that wildlife and you see that association with the ecology of the area, and that's what I guess Woodford's partly about. Yeah.
Look, there's one over there, a plane. Yeah, white plane. Banded plane?
Oh yeah, the white banded plane. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
What you can show is that you can have a direct relationship with nature yourself. So it's very much you can have a direct spiritual relationship with the environment through a really simple thing like raising a caterpillar. But it doesn't have to be really overt, and it doesn't have to necessarily be very new age either, if that's not a comfort zone for people. So.
People think that nature's very sort of vicious and nasty sometimes, with all the animals eating each other and survival of the fittest. But with butterflies, when you get a butterfly like the imperial hairstreak, its caterpillars get looked after by ants. The ants actually protect the caterpillars from predators. In return, they get a protein-rich secretion which they can feed their young. So there's a nice cooperative thing going there, and I think it fits in very well with the cooperative spirit of Woodford.
It's amazing how much synchronicity there is with the butterflies and insects. You get spontaneous things happening. Like this year we've made lots of bugs, and we didn't know about it, but there's lots of other people making bugs and butterflies and insect themes, so there's like a really strong interest there.
My butterflies, what I think they're really about, they're 3 chrysalises. Chrysali, I'm not too sure. But and there's lots of butterflies on each one. There's only 2 species. They're the wanderer, which isn't a native butterfly, it's an exotic, and there's the blue triangle. And they're actually on different cocoons, and it's a little bit about them meeting. There's one chrysalis where they meet, and on different parts of the bamboo they're sort of meeting, and I think it's, to me, what it's really about, I guess, relationships, like personal relationships or any relationships you have anyway, it could be with the environment or whatever, is that sort of that middle ground of meeting, and that's sort of what I was really wanting to capture with it.
it's the diversity. If we were all the same, we just keep trudging on just the same, but it's the diversity that makes people take a second look or opens their eyes.
Well, butterflies are just so great. They're bright, they're colourful, they're out there, you know, they're all doing specific things. It's like a collection of people here at Woodford for the festival.
Yeah, the diversity of the butterflies. I mean, that's more butterfly species than I've seen sort of anywhere.
I think that was really fantastic just to see how good these like small plants and shrubs and things like that, and how important they are to the local caterpillars. There's just so many layers to this world out there.
One of the things we're trying to show here is that people should keep the understory plants, because that's where a lot of the biodiversity is, in the understory. And when people do a normal revegetation, they mulch, sheet mulch and plant trees and just leave it, and all the little plants disappear. So we're very big on the little plants and the little animals. And when they shed their skin, they anchor their rear end to the surface, and then they walk out of their old skin. And if you take the anchor away, they can't walk out of the skin. Oh, there's one that's just hatched out.
Here he is.
It's flying. Up enough.
Flying.
Oh.
It's flying.
The butterflies itself is, metamorphosis that goes through stages, and I think Woodford's the same. The site, the area, the festival itself is going through cycles as well. So,
and butterflies in history have always been a metaphor for sort of growth. The word for butterfly in Greek is psyche, and we get psychology and a whole lot of concepts like that. And the old ugly duckling story, where people, where the caterpillar turns into the butterfly sort of thing, something ugly turns into something beautiful, is a very powerful metaphor that people use in their lives.
The Chrysalis series is Woodford's Emerging Artists program. It provides opportunities for emerging artists from all over the country to come to Woodford and to participate in gigs, forums and mentoring sessions. So it's a fantastic opportunity for them to develop networks, develop audiences, meet other emerging artists and professional artists in the music industry. I suppose that it's called Chrysalis because it's based on the idea of emerging artists kind of, I guess, being born, I guess, or coming, that a chrysalis, a butterfly is in a chrysalis, and then it sort of is born, I guess, into this new thing. And I guess that's the idea of the program, is that the Chrysalis program supports artists to emerge, new artists to emerge into their professional careers.
Anyway, I just wanted to say how much I love playing at Woodford. Such a beautiful festival, and spend the whole week just getting inspired. And the Emerging Artists program that we're in, it's a pretty amazing thing that Woodford's doing. So I just like to thank all the other musicians that took the forums and did the mentoring and just played all week and inspired me. So thank you. Moved to for the fresh free country air. And every Saturday night we danced to the Robinvale Hall. And Stan was such a good mover, we'd knock the rest to their floor.
You get to dance for days on end, which for me is a transformation. At the end of it, I always feel like I've somehow shed some of the baggage, some of the stuff that I don't need. I'm able to shed it here in a really positive and loving way.
I've got no shoes on, Got my eyes shut so I can't see, but I've got your heart strong, and your big hands to guide me through this dance. I'm gonna dance until my ankles are sore. I'm gonna dance until the break of dawn. I'm gonna dance, dance, dance.
And every time you saw a butterfly, you'd remember who you were, and that would give you some sort of spiritual side to it. Not that I'm very spiritual myself, but I know people do that sort of thing. I just like the smiles on people when they see the butterflies, and then when you explain to them that the butterfly goes with the plant and that they can do this in their backyard. That's something I'm pleased that people take with them when they go from the festival.
Beautiful, really well done.
Frank's enthusiasm, because we live in West End as well, and we've just started planting some plants and thinking, well, I wonder if we can go over to Frank and Helen's house and maybe they can show us around and see what they've done in their backyard as well.
What can individual people do in a proactive way that doesn't require political action, overt political action, that can make a difference?
We're fortunate now we have our own property. We come from Yeppoon and we have a property at the mouth of the Fitzroy River. And now I'm looking what can I do to contribute back into my community with not only the plants and the bird life, because I've been on the bird walks and the trees and the interrelationship, and that's what Woodford means to us, is that interrelatedship between humans, but interrelatedship with the earth, with the nature and those animals and insects, and even tonight I'm going to go on that insect walk as well. So I think we've done the holistic thing, which is what represents Woodford to our family and to our community and the whole nature community as well. So the butterfly walk is not only beautiful but really, really informative. So it's just been great.
And we've also concentrated on what Dr. Don Sands taught us in the first place about the birdwing butterfly. It lives on a plant called the Parastolochia privanosa, and we've put in 200 one year and we put in another 200 the following year, all up and down the riparian corridors here, where the plant gets just enough moisture underneath this sort of tropical cover that it's got inside these trees, and those plants are coming on beautifully. And only a week ago, I met a person up here who has seen the Richmond birdwing butterfly on this site. And one of them has found us. So once you get one, you'll get many, 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 many more. So we're hoping in years to come to be oodles of these what were endangered species, this birdwing butterfly, flying around here. And the butterfly's that wide, it's a big butterfly. And we're all about that at Woodford, making inroads into that whole notion of getting back to nature and allowing nature here with us on the planet. and being part of it. And we're all fairly natural, right? Getting back to it.